Okay, hello everybody. I've got some four examples for you to prepare for the quiz tomorrow. So what I want you to do is pause the video, take a minute or a minute and a half to get as far as you can with this, and then play to see the solutions. So we're going to find an equation of an ellipse with this major axis and the foci at this. So I always, love to look at the graph. So each focus is here and here, which tells me that it's orientated vertically, which means the bigger number is going to be underneath the y. And since one focus is here, one focus is here, the center has to be in the middle of those two. So we know that the center is 2, 2. That means I get to write this much of my equation. Remember, I have to find an equation. That's the main goal. So I went 2 to the right. I went 2 up. I don't know A and B. A is always bigger, remember? And I know it's orientated vertically, so the A is going to be underneath the Y. And this all equals 1. Well, now what can I do? I know the major axis is 10. So the major axis is 10 long, which means A is 5. Because remember, the ellipse stretches A away from the center along its long end. So since A is 5, A squared is 25. Now we just need to find B squared. How do we do that? Well, we know A and we actually know C, because remember, C is the distance that a single focus is away from the center. C is 1, 2, 3, 4. C is 4. And to find C, it's the square root of A squared minus B squared. You'll have to have this memorized for tomorrow. And I replace C with 4. I know A squared is 25, and I solve for, I actually don't need to solve for B. I just need to know what B squared is. Remember, realize. So I can square both sides. I'll subtract 25 on both sides, divide by -1 on both sides, and I should stop, because all I really want to know is, what is B squared? I just replace B squared with this number, which is 9. And when I do that, this is my final answer. This is the equation of the ellipse that has foci at 2, -2, and 2, 6. And its major axis is 10 long. Problem 2. What is you have the equation of a circle, and we need to find out the radius, the center, and then graph the circle. Well, here's the answer. The center is 0, 1, the radius is 3, and here's the graph. How do we get that? We have to complete the square. So I'm going to reorganize my terms and get all the x's together, all the y's together, and then get all the non-variables, the constants on the other side. And I left a space here. This is to complete the square. And remember how we complete the square. We need the C value has to be half of B squared. So -2 is B. So half of that is -1. And when you square -1, you get +1. So I want a +1 right here. So I just put a +1 right there. And I have to keep the balance. So I do a +1 on the other side. And when I do that, 8 plus 1 is 9. This trinomial is a perfect square trinomial, which factors into this. X squared is the same thing as x minus 0. So now this is the form, the graphing form of a circle. I know that I went to the right 0 and I went up 1. So the center is 0, 1. And this is the radius squared. So 3 is the radius. Problem 3. Find the 22nd term. Again, pause the video and take a minute and a half to get as far as you can. There's a sequence, I want to find the 22nd term. What do I know about this sequence? The common difference is 2, and the first term is -2. Well, if the first term is -2, and the common difference is 2, then the next term is 0, because that's 2 away from -2. The third term is 2, because that's 2 away from 0, etc. The fourth term is 4, the fifth term is 6, etc., etc. So every term is 2 away from the previous term, which is the common difference. Well, this is a linear relationship. So since it's a linear relationship, it has a slope. The slope is 2. You always are adding 2 every single term. And the y-intercept would be -4. Remember, the first term is -2. So the 0 term would be like the y-intercept. There had to be a -4 right here. I'm not sure if you can even see my cursor. I just realized. So there had to be a -4 right here, so that when you add 2, you get -2. You add 2 again, you get 0. You add 2 again, you get 2, etc. So this term right here, the 0 term, would be -4, which gives you the general form of this sequence. Are we sure that we are right? This is the general form. We could test it. We know that the 5th term is 6, just random. I could have picked the 6th term, the 7th term, but just randomly, the 5th term is 6. So if this is true, when I replace n with 5 for the 5th term, I should get 6. And that's exactly what I do get. 2 times 5 minus 4 would equal 6. So I'm feeling pretty good that 2n minus 4 does generate this sequence. And that means I want to find the 22nd term. So I just replace n with 22 and I get 40. So 40 is the 22nd term. Another possible path to success here would be to literally write out the whole sequence until you get to the 22nd term, which is, I appreciate that, but that's not a good long-term goal, because what if on the quiz tomorrow it's find the 202nd term? You don't want to be writing 202 terms. So we would find another mathematical way to do that. Last problem, pause, minute and a half to get as far as you can here. So we're going to expand this, and using the binomial theorem, you'll need your calculator. You're raising it to the 5th power, so there are going to be 6 terms here. And the binomial theorem starts off with this, where this is the binomial coefficient, 5 choose 0. And the first term, 5x, is to its highest power, to the 5th. The next term is 5 choose 1. But now 5x goes down a degree. It's now 5x to the 4th. And the other term, 3, goes up a degree. So having 0 3s to 3 to the 1st. And then this pattern continues. The next term would be 5 choose 2. 5x is now going to go down to the 3rd power, and 3 is going to ascend to the 2nd power. And that pattern continues until there are no more 5x's. The last term has no 5x's, but the 3 term is at its greatest power, 3 to the 5th. So writing this out is key. And remember, I'm collecting your work. You have to show your work on a separate piece of paper, and I need to collect it. Bartlett people, you're going to send me a picture. And now it's a matter of evaluating. You have 6 terms. Do not make more than 6 or less than 6. You have 6 terms, which means you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus signs in your final answer. So 5 choose 0, you're going on your calculator, that's 1. 5 to the 5th is 3,125. And of course, x to the 5th is x to the 5th. And you just continue evaluating each chunk. Let's jump to here. 5 choose 3 is 10. 5 squared is 25, which is where that comes from. X squared is x squared. 3 to the 3rd is 27. And notice again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus signs. That tells you that there are 6 terms. The last line is just multiplying these numbers out. So 1 times 3,125 is that. This second one I'm concerned about. Some people do some wild things. This is all multiplication. 5 times 625 times 3. You need your calculator, of course. 5 times 625 times 3 is this, 9,375. The next term, 10 times 125 times 9, is this big monster. And then 10 times 25 times 27 is this. Notice the variables, 10 times 25 times x squared times 27 gets you here. And this is our final answer. So this is the expansion of 5x plus 3 to the 5th. And there are 6 terms there. Good luck. You're going to do great. Do that quiz review on Alex. And remember, I need to collect your work. So South Elgin people, I'll physically collect it. Bartlett, you're going to take a picture and upload it on Canvas. And I'll see you later.